All right, so this is a quick video I've been meaning to post just to go over my nightly charting routine. Sometimes I do it in the morning, but just my pre-market prep overall. So, for anyone who doesn't know how I trade, majority of my trading style is based around supply and demand zones. I follow that up with key levels. So these are some levels I had from earlier today. I started cleaning up this chart a little bit, but let me just walk you through the process of what I do normally, so everyone has an idea. Let me start with a fresh chart here. Right, let's remove these drawings. And one of the keys with supply and demand zones, or any time frame you're trading on, or whatever kind of zones you're looking for, key levels, et cetera, you got to start from a top down approach, right? So if I'm looking, let's start with supply and demand zones, right? Monthly, I'm not going to trade a monthly zone, but I'll generally start with maybe weekly to find some key areas. Like you could see here last week where we bounced around this area here, there was some confluence here where we bounced. There's obviously some demand or common interest in this area here, but we're not going to focus that. Just a quick example. Let's go to the daily and start finding some levels that we can look at. So what I'll generally do is, this is how I base my trades off, right? I'll find some areas of interest for the following day, right? So I would maybe come up here and I see this supply zone up here. This is not an area of interest for tomorrow necessarily, just because it's far away. But we could just chart it as an example of an area that I would potentially consider in the future to look at. And for anyone who doesn't know what supply or demand is, I'd recommend watching some videos. I'm just want to go through my routine of what I do. So I'm going to start daily and work down on time frame. So you see daily, that's the supply zone I found there. And how I know the supply zone, this is called a drop base drop. That's a supply zone formation. So red candle followed by a small body basing candle followed by a drop. Again, I'm not going to dig into what a demand zone or how to find a supply zone. I'll give you a quick overview, but I really just want to show my routine. And while I'm looking here, I could already see like we cleared the resistance area here. So I'll start looking at some next level resistance, like this spot here could work for potential resistance. I'm not telling you what to do with these spots. I'm just telling you these are areas of interest I might look for while I'm charting. And you could obviously see here too, just with a quick glance, like this is clearly an area of support right here, right? How we're determining this is, one, the market bounced here. So we'll make this line green. This is on the daily time frame. This is where we bounced today. There was some rejection here prior, rejection here. So this is another area of interest. And when we go to smaller time frames, you can see the areas a little better. This is just a quick, like I said, overview of how I'll go about finding some key levels, etc. So next we'll go to 4 hour. That was a quick look at the daily. And then for 4 hour, we could see we do have a demand zone here formed. I'm going to find a better zone here, but remember that zone I mentioned before? You can clearly see this area. If we come back here, this is going to be important in the coming days, weeks, etc. Just as you can see what the market did here, right? It rejected, breakout over this level, some moves here, consolidation, back test, boom, look how strong we moved up. And one of my points about finding demand zones is you can obviously, this is an area of interest. So what I do from here is I work down to a smaller time frame than this to kind of find where we had some demand in this area, right? So for demand, oh, perfect, right here, easy. 3 hour zone, 3 hour time frame. Like I'll go. Sorry, let me backtrack. So I said I'll do weekly, right? Daily, 4 hour, 3 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour. This I won't go into this one just because I don't want to confuse anybody. And 90, 45, 30 minute, right? I don't really track 15 or 5 minute zones. Sometimes if I really need to find a clean zone, I'll do that. Those are more trading time frames I'll use. So this is a 3 hour demand zone. This is a rally base. So for our basing, we want to find the opposite color of what kind of zone we're going for. For example, for the supply zone before, we found a green body basing candle. That's for supply. For demand, we want to find the opposite color of the kind of zone we're going for. So that's going to be a red body basing candle for this demand zone. And that's going to be 3 hour time frame here. And obviously you can see this zone is important because, well, let's go make this zone first for two reasons, right? First reason, look at the strength of the move. This is a nice rally, base rally, strong rally candle. This area obviously is an important zone going forward. We even came back and tested this zone today and rallied right out of it. So we know this area is important moving forward. And this actually made even more demand here, demand on top of demand. You see another drop, base, rally right here. So I could draw another zone here, but I'm not going to because we're going to have a 20-point zone basically stacked on top of each other. How can you trade that? Where's your entry? How do you define your risk to reward? It's kind of impossible doing that. So maybe I'll go down to 1 hour. What I might do is, this is another trick I have, right? So I mentioned finding zones on higher time frames. Same thing for key levels. So I might start like daily. Well, daily we're not going to see anything; it's too high up. But on a 1 hour, we could see this was some kind of area of importance here. And I remember off the top of my head, 4390 was a pretty important area, or 89 even better. We could see, look, just quick glance, you see consolidation, bounce, bounce, market moved up, bounce, failed this level, started the sell off, recover, and rally. So this, what I'll do is, this is easier to trade, right? I really can't trade if this is a full zone here, but I can know this is a key level. So maybe let's go to a smaller time frame. Look, you can even see here, we kind of rejected around this zone here. So give yourself, I would say, a point or so of room to work with, breathing room, if you want to bring it down a little to be more accurate, or whatever works visually for you. You want to see where you rejected off of. But I want to go to a smaller time frame. Can you see? Yeah, you see how the candle's rejected here, and then once we cleared it, like how we rallied. So this could be a potential area you might want to take long in the coming session. But again, not trading advice. This is more so to show you my routine of what I'd go through. So that was a very quick overview of how I find some zones. But again, the key for me is starting at a higher time frame. Like the 808, the term they love to say is when in doubt, zoom out. So that's what I do, is I zoom out first and work my way down. So I'll start daily, 4 hour, 3 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour. I'll go down to 30-minute. And just to be clear, that's to find zones. When I'm looking for key levels, I keep it very simple. I'll do daily. A key level difference is, a key level will be like, say, this back here. This was obviously resistance before, that turned support right here. And the market has some kind of reaction here. So that would be a key level, right? You could see all the reactions to it here. Key level. You want to see touches from the candles, or want to see wicks off that level. This is not a level I recommend using. This is kind of loosely drawn. And that, so I'll do daily, 4 hour. So you see 4 hour, we could take another level right here, 4302. I remember this on the top of my head. This was key. It was 4302-ish, 4303 was a big level that worked for the market this week. So I would definitely watch that level. And I would say from after 4 hour, go down to 1 hour. And that's pretty much where I found my key levels at. So you can kind of find another one right here. And how I'm finding these levels is like, I'm just looking to see where the market had reactions at. Reject, 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 bounce. Like those are levels of interest that buyers or sellers are interested in, right? Because look what happened once we clear this level, right? Even to be clear here, it made a 1 hour demand zone too. So this is maybe I marked this as demand zone, but it's up to you. But again, this is just to show you a quick overview of how I go about my routine and how I chart. So hope everyone enjoyed this. I'm going to try to make more videos like this and maybe post a game plan next. Thank you.